Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and two of my locations being closed, what better location to come to at Halloween, or for Halloween, than the Tower of London. And they've spookified it a little bit with some webbing and ravens. That, what you're looking at over there, is the moat in bloom. But back to our ghostliness and ghoulishness. You'll join me in the medieval palace. You've probably, if you've been on my page for a while, you've seen this one for a while. You've seen this one before, but Halloween and all. And then we'll be going to some other haunted locations, and we'll be here for when it gets dark. So that should be very, very good. And you've got the iconic shard, the shard. So yeah, right next to there, and in we go. So join me all inside in the medieval palace. Before we go in there,
surely all is not lost.
this is where the royals came in through that entrance. Right. The Royal Mint is over there, the bell tower, and this is where they ring the curfew bell for the ceremony of the keys each evening. And I did say we was starting in the medieval palace, but we started before, but now we are going to go into the medieval palace. I promise. What looks very much like a guard turret, but these are very much a Victorian. When they discovered what a big tourist attraction this place was becoming, they medievalified quite a bit of it. Basically, it was the Disney World of the Victorians. So yeah, no one's coming, and off we go up into the Royal Palace. Royal Palace, the Salt Tower in particular, for our Halloween thing. That's going to be a big theme there. I think it's in the Salt Tower anyway. And site of the scaffold, Tower Green, and if we've got time we'll do the Beauchamp Tower, but I've timed this so it will get dark while we're here. It doesn't shut till 5:30 on a Sunday, and it will get dark. And down there, ladies and gentlemen, is the terrifying and iconic Traitor's Gate. We'll see more of that later on. St Thomas's Tower this is, and this is the medieval royal palace. So, built by King Edward. King Edward I, or if you really want to piss my nan off, my grandmother. For those who don't know, like live abroad who don't know what nan is, grandmother. Instead of saying Edward I, you'd say Edward the Onth. Or like, instead of the first of the month, you'd say the onth. And it really peed her off badly. In the end, she just got used to it and ignored me. It's quiet in here today, which is very good. It serves me well. Here is, and it's always warm in here, whatever the time of the year. It's like a little solar, a little chamber where the royals could sit, and it's very thick stone and it's small, so it's nice and warm, and they could watch the river go by. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in very much a medieval world for Halloween. They would not have seen Tower Bridge, they would have seen a natural riverbank going into Traitor's Gate, which wasn't Traitor's Gate at the first time this was built. It only became known really as that since the reign of Henry VIII and what he did. Yeah, this little room is a nice feeling room really for what this place is. It does feel nice. That's better. Me longer with my wire then. This all dates from the reign of King Edward I. Vaulted ceilings, and you can see how well it's put together. Ooh, hat off. Alright. There we go. This here is an opening for what was the guardrobe or toilet. All the, you know what's it used to flow down that. That's why it's so black. It used to go straight into the moat. And here's the medieval fireplace. Illuminated documents or manuscripts. Pause to read anything you want to read. I will do these in 30-minute increments. King Edward, the Hammer of the Scots, and the Welsh as well. He was well favoured in Scotland or Wales, was King Edward. And there you see his fabulous tomb in Westminster Abbey, but these are scenes from his life. This is new. This screen was not here the last time I came, and this is what I'm always saying, things change here regularly. Hence why London Luke has an annual pass. A lot of what's known about their lives comes from illuminated documents and manuscripts. And art was very primitive back then. It wasn't till the reign of Henry VII and Henry VIII and Hans Holbein came along, when the humanist era, that art became a lot more realistic. When Queen Eleanor died, that was the wife of King Edward, he was devastated. And when the funeral cortege was coming back to London, everywhere that it stopped, he raised a cross to her memory. And that's why you have the Eleanor cross and Charing cross, and apparently that comes from Share Rain Charing. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but there we are. It's also in the reign of, or in the medieval era, that England had a Holocaust with the expulsion of the Jews. Check that out online, you will find all you want about that. This wouldn't have been exposed in those days. It probably would have been lath plastered and covered in tapestries and things like that. The tapestries obviously were for decorative reasons, and they kept the rooms warmer. That's the Bloody Tower, where the prince is in the tower, when it's said to be murdered. We may visit that location instead of the Beauchamp Tower. In here, and you have seen it before, it's just materials and things. It shows you what it would have been like here in the reign of King Edward. This is important, this bit, so have a read if you wish. If you don't wish, well, you're stuck with that for a couple of seconds, so yeah. Earliest image of St Thomas's Tower. Now, into that bedchamber. And it is very empty in here. And you have the noise of the fire. That isn't always on. They've set this room out to be exactly like it would have been a room of that era, of a king. Of course, this is the finest stuff. That and that date from the reign of King Edward. I remember that from my previous visits. These beds, where ours have springs or wooden slats or something like that, these are strung with ropes, and that's where the saying "night night, sleep tight" comes from, because you would make sure the ropes are tightly strung so you would sleep well. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Bit comes because from every bed, right from the richest to the poorest in the land, had lice and bugs in it. It was unavoidable in that age. And this is said to be one of the most haunted rooms in the tower, this room. Apparently the ghost of Queen Eleanor, and they say that of King Edward, has been seen here. Here we are. Henry VI's spirit has returned and is being tormented by his enemies. He was kept prisoner here, having lost his throne to Edward of York. Now his rivals are closing in around him. Will he survive, or relive his gruesome fate all over again? And the ghost of King Henry VI has also been seen here, because that's where he's, in the next bit that we're going to be going to, is where he was murdered, or said to have been murdered. This has been roped off more recently. You could go right up to that door. It's a private chapel. Carry on with our tour into the location where I told you where King Henry VI is said to have been murdered. This bit is quite busy today. I'm just going to pause you guys and girls. There we are. Up the spiral stairs. And we're enjoying the Halloween experience in this part, which is new for Halloween, of course.
I was a baby when I became king. And France. Just a baby. Helpless, harmless, innocent.
He never ruled effectively. Too many favorites, not enough fighting.
Oh.
His very weakness is a danger.
Well, as I say, you have seen this before if you've been on the page longer than a few months. But you've never seen this place like this before. Never. Not on my page. Might have visited yourself, and then fair enough, you've seen it. But now I shall take you to the location where King Henry was murdered. We are going to go and see that location right now. On this spot, on May the 1st, 1471, where he was said to have been murdered while at prayer. And something called the Ceremony of the Lilies and the Roses is performed here every year in honour of King Henry and his murder. He was an innocent, you see. He was mad, like King George III. Henry was mad, and he had periods of sanity and periods of insanity, and he was on the throne and off the throne. Plantagenets, this is the Wars of the Roses and the Lancastrians and all that, and he was caught by Edward. He imprisoned him here, and he was murdered in this place.
King of England.
No, not anymore. For you, sir, are king.
I am
The king again. I am king. I was a baby when I became king. And France. Just a baby.
Well, we've heard that, and I think I will visit the Bloody Tower rather than the Beauchamp Tower, because I reckon there's going to be a Halloween experience. I hope you all enjoyed that, guys and girls. This will do you for this increment, and I'll carry on with the next part. Join me again for part 2.